My name is Buzz Slutzky, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist who works mostly in drawing and video, also in writing and performance. As you walk into my exhibition, for example, you see framed drawings that were marker on vellum, acrylic on canvas paintings, a video that's an essay film, a mixture of drawings and voiceover and interviews and other archival footage and scrapbooks, and drawings on black paper that I made with color pencil. The series of drawings began with my mom giving me this instructional manual called Looking Forward to Being Attacked, which is such a wild name. And it's something that she bought when she was in college because there was, somebody doing self-defense coming to her campus. I think what was really interesting to me about the photographs is there's the same man attacking all these different women. Some of them are more committed to the role than others. Some of them are like kind of flirting with the guy or kind of smiling. And it kind of makes me think about the representation of assault as like a stranger danger thing where we have to be afraid of certain kinds of people, as opposed to, we now know more about how abuse usually happens within relationships, within families, people that we know. And so the title, Looking Forward to Being Attacked, then kind of reminds me of being in an abusive relationship and having that kind of attraction and repulsion at the same time, and how kind of complex relationships are. Drawing these photographs in the book, I'm kind of like trying to remove the images from their status as a document that's instructing you to do something and kind of trying to intervene and have it do something else, or kind of tease out that complexity that I initially saw. I always in my work tend to be interested in juxtaposition, and it was kind of magical, or as we say, beschert, that I found my grandmother's sculpture textbook from the 1950s. After I started putting together the self-defense manual with the sculpture textbook, I started collecting other instructional manuals, and I found this textbook that's about modeling, and it was kind of like a ding, ding, ding moment for me. It helped me realize that what I was also interested in was body positioning and how these books are instructing you to move your body. And with the modeling textbook, it's like how to kind of achieve femininity in the right way. Even though this show isn't overtly queer in the sense that like you're looking at representations of queer people or portraiture, I think there is an investigation of gender and how it has been represented within mid-century photography or instructional photography. The women that are wielding these tools and making these sculptures are sort of like going against their gendered embodiment or like how they're supposed to behave. And then same for the women that are like defending themselves against this man. It almost looks like they're just deciding to attack him. The series with the butts is from an instructional manual about a particular workout methodology called Kalinetics. This is their butt after 3 classes. This is their butt after 8 classes. And it's trying to convince you, the reader, we have the authority over what's the right kind of workout for your butt. And so I kind of enjoyed taking them out of context and just kind of having them be this like family scrapbook with the photo corners. There's just something really intimate about the representation of hands or figures. I mean, there's so much gender involved in hands. You can really learn something about someone by their mannerisms. Mannerisms can be generationally passed on or maybe genetically passed on. These are mysteries. We kind of learn how to move our bodies from the people around us, so it's kind of a way of tracing socialization or just your social self. When I was having my bat mitzvah, the night before was kind of the dress rehearsal and when we took the photographs, because in conservative Judaism, you don't take pictures or film on Shabbat. And so, my grandparents were in town, so they were in all the pictures. And while we were sitting on the bima, which is like the stage, my grandma was like, and this is how you close your legs, and this is how you position your legs so that no one can see up your dress. How do we get the messages of how we should move our bodies or how we should kind of embody gender or exist in space? And we kind of do get that from our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents. I was a 2021 to 2022 BRIClab video art resident, and it was an amazing opportunity with so many resources. I was really interested in telling the story of not only my grandma's life and kind of her resilience in the face of this injury from her childhood, but also kind of investigate how did the mythology around her life impact me and my choice to become an artist. She just was kind of mythologized as being this extremely strong person, but there's kind of a mystery around whether or not her mother was abusive to her. I think, when you have a relationship to someone, you have one side of them, and how do we interpret what happened in the past? And who gets to decide? I think we can't know, and that's, I think, what's interesting about it. I don't actually think that art making is a violent act, but I think there is something obviously really powerful about it. A lot of us carry trauma in our kind of epigenetics, and thinking about the gesture or body positioning or, what do we choose to do with our hands is kind of questioning how do those kind of generational traumas surface or express themselves, or what are the options that we have to kind of heal from them. I hope people take away, their experience can shape their own kind of interpretation of the work, and not taking photography as kind of an index to what is real or true. So much of photography is such a construction, and to be a little bit more critical about that.